Now, I want you to imagine this for 1 second. Imagine you have this asset for your digital online business, and whenever you need to make some money, you go to that asset, create an offer, and 5, 10, 20% of that asset actually converts into sales and you make money. I'm sure for a lot of you, that would actually solve a lot of financial problems. Well, today I'm going to let you in on a little secret that could take your business and your online income to the next level, and that's building an email list. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh geez, email, that's old school, who would use that anymore? But trust me, it's one of the best and easiest ways to gain access to your audience and generate sales and earn extra income with your online businesses. And think about it, when was the last time you actually checked your email? Probably within the last hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, right? So most likely quite recently. And you're not alone with that. In fact, a recent study has shown that up to 90% of people check their emails at least once a day. So by building an email list, you actually have direct access to your customers or potential customers' inboxes, which is a fantastic way of generating income. And as well as that, when you actually have an email list, you actually own that asset, and it's actually a valuable asset to have, because if you're just generating sales through social media and social media platforms and don't have or haven't built an email list, if you get shut down for whatever reason, as we've seen recently with Andrew Tate, you lose that asset and you don't actually have access to that audience to market or promote products to and generate that income anymore. So by building this email list, you actually own that asset and actually have a way of marketing and generating sales and income through promotions or offers to your audience. But how do you actually build an email list? Well, that's what I'm going to cover you today. I'm actually going to go through the simple steps of actually how to actually build an email list and things you might need to consider. And we'll cover everything from like lead magnets, opt-in pages, funnels. And don't worry, you won't need to be a tech genius to actually figure this out. I'm actually going to go through it with you step by step. And worst case scenario, there are plenty of videos out there on the internet through YouTube and things, which actually go through a more detailed, in-depth approach to actually setting it up correctly or integrating it with your website and things like that. Okay, so the first step in actually building an email list is actually choosing the emailing platform. Now, this might seem like a bit of a daunting task, especially if you're new to this, because there are so many options out there and so many things you got to consider when actually kind of choosing a platform. But it's actually pretty straightforward, and once you actually know what you're looking for, what you're actually building, it makes the decision a lot easier. And worst case scenario, you can actually always chop and change between one platform to another. It's usually pretty easy, and as I said, the list actually stays with you. Now, there are a ton of emailing platforms out there, ranging from almost free or very inexpensive, all the way up to expensive, depending on what you actually need for your emailing requirements. It depends if you have a large audience or if you have to send emails quite regularly. These are all things you got to kind of take into consideration, and different platforms cater for different people's needs. So some of the popular options that you can actually consider and choose from are MailChimp, which is probably the most well-known, MailerLite, and Aweber, which is one actually I personally use, and it has a lot of features which actually works really well for me and actually makes my life a lot easier. And I'll leave links for all these down below, so if you want to actually check them out for yourself, by all means, hop on the link and jump over to them. And one of the main reasons why you actually want to sign up to an emailing platform is because you want to make sure you automate the entire emailing process, because as you build your email list, you will actually develop quite a large list, and having to kind of go through and individually email each and every individual person can be quite time consuming. And that's one of the main features of emailing platforms, is that it's all automated. It actually blasts out all the emails to everyone, makes the process a lot easier. So when choosing an emailing platform, there are going to be a few key things to consider. So firstly, you'll want to make sure it's user-friendly and easy to navigate and actually caters to your needs and your actual business model. Because after all, you don't want to spend hours and upon hours trying to figure out how to actually use the platform and actually make sure if it actually caters to your emailing needs. And as well as that, some platforms don't actually work with certain business models, such as MailChimp not working that effectively with affiliate marketers. They don't really like the whole link concept, or for whatever reason, and they pretty much shut your account down straight away. So even though you might own the list, you won't be able to actually send those emails out and monetize your actual list and make that money from your email list. Secondly, you'll want to think about what kind of functionality and options you actually need. Some platforms offer opt-in pages, newsletters, broadcasts, A/B testing, things like that. So depending on what kind of functionality you need or what you actually require for your services, you might need to kind of take that into consideration when actually signing up to these. A/B testing is actually a great way to actually kind of split test the headlines and kind of text and things and see which one kind of performs better over time. So you can actually send more of a certain kind of email or headline out, which will actually ends up converting more, which is actually a huge part in actually making sales and getting engagement and actually making money. And then thirdly, you want to consider cost. So while some platforms actually offer free plans, but you might end up being limited to actually how many subscribers you can actually have before they start charging you, or how many emails you can actually send and what kind of features. And then you got plans of platforms which actually charge a couple of dollars right up to hundreds of dollars. Same thing again, depending on how large your actual email list is and what kind of functionality you actually need and how many emails you actually send out. So ultimately the platform will actually depend on what your actual individual needs are for your business and for what you're trying to achieve. And you can always change down the line and actually swap from one platform to the next, depending on if your needs change or if your actual list grows to a point where the current platform doesn't actually support it anymore and it needs certain other functionalities. Now, the next step in building your email list is actually creating a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is kind of like a magnet which actually draws your audience's attention and offers them something that they can't resist and they want to opt into. So let me tell you about a quick story about a friend of mine who was actually struggling to actually build her email list a few years back. Now, she actually tried everything: social media posts, guest posting, blogs, you name it. She tried everything to kind of grow her website and email list, but nothing was actually working. Then she came up with the idea of actually creating an ebook which she would offer to her audience for free in exchange for her email. And within that ebook, she actually packed it full of valuable advice relating to the industry she was working in and made it so that she could actually offer a lot of value up front to our audience so they could actually take action on that ebook and actually gain some kind of insight and actually some actionable steps to actually benefit themselves as a result of that ebook. And as a result of this ebook, her email list actually tripled in size, and she actually ended up positioning herself as a leader and an expert in her field, which actually even caused more engagement within other people as a audience actually shared that book with other friends, and a lot more word of mouth got out. Now, I'm not saying that every ebook or every kind of offer you offer your audience will be an absolute smash hit straight away, but the takeaway from this is that if you actually offer your audience something valuable and actually that actually helps them, over time you can actually get your audience kind of opt in and actually join your email list as a result of that kind of lead magnet, which is ultimately what we're trying to do to actually help grow our email list. So when creating this lead magnet, you want to kind of consider what kind of content would be most valuable to your audience, like what kind of piece of information that they might be missing through other people or other areas, that when you offer it to them or package it as some kind of offer or magnet, that they can actually action it and actually it helps benefit them over time. So once you actually create this lead magnet, you actually want to kind of promote it to your audience in such a way that they'll actually want to go over to your website and actually opt in to actually get access to that magnet or that offer which you're actually offering them for free, so then they can actually join your email list. Now, we'll actually touch on this a little bit later about how to actually build and grow your social media following, or how to actually take advantage of your social media to actually have that occur. And by creating this lead magnet, you'll be well on your way to actually building the email list, because you're actually offering your audience something of real value that they can actually kind of connect with to you, and then they'll actually want to kind of stick to what you're actually kind of offering them down the line. So it's all about building that trust and that relationship over time so they can actually trust you, so that if you do offer them anything down the line, they're more compelled to actually take action and actually take up that offer. Next, we want to start promoting your offer or your lead magnet to your actual audience through social media. Now, this is something that will have to actually be built over time and gradually. It's not something that you'll be just kind of offer it to your audience one and done and that's it, because you want to actually build your list over time to actually significant numbers or continuously grow over time. And as your audience grows in numbers anyway, your email list should grow proportionally as well. So for this, you actually want to kind of try and build a brand or build a community around your posts that you're posting on social media through either Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Pinterest, whatever it might be. You actually want to kind of try and provide them value through posts, and then actually offering them that lead magnet is a kind of next level in what kind of value you're offering to your audience. So then they'll be compelled to actually click a link which will be embedded in your profile, so they can actually go over to your website and actually opt in to actually join your email list when they want to kind of take advantage of obtaining that kind of lead magnet which you've actually offered them. So this will be kind of like a gradual long-term process. You don't want to kind of just blast them straight off the bat with, oh, get this email, get this ebook, join this, whatever. You want to try and gradually build that kind of connection and that relationship with your audience, so that they're more likely to actually kind of engage with you and actually take advice or action on actually opting into your email list, and then you actually want to actually have to nurture that over time as well. So now that you actually have a clear understanding of what your target audience wants and what they find valuable, and you're offering them that lead magnet so they can actually engage with you more and through social media posts, you can actually start or want to start directing them to a website to get them to actually opt in to join your email list. So somewhere on your website or your landing page, you can actually have somewhere like some kind of opt-in form for your actual audience to actually jump in to actually obtain that lead magnet so they can actually join that mailing list that you're actually building. So opt-in forms are simply forms which are on your website so that when visitors come to your website, they can actually use them to sign up to your email list. And trust me, they're one of the best ways to actually grow and build your email list. And let me tell you about another story about another one of my friends who actually has an online jewelry store. Now he actually had a lot of visitors coming to his website quite regularly, but he didn't actually have an email list and a lot of them weren't actually buying on the first time. So what he actually did one day is he actually created an opt-in form down the bottom of his website that allowed anyone who actually signed up a 20% discount on anything which was actually on the store itself. And as a result of this exponentially grew his email list so that he could actually, one, get more sales, or two, if he actually had a promotion or something new, he could actually email his audience straight away, and then actually leads to more sales or more regular sales as a result of that. So you might be asking, where should you actually put this opt-in form? Well, the answer is quite simple. Wherever you think it might be most appropriate. Now, for some people, this might be at the top of the website, like a little banner where you actually have that little offer of whatever you're offering them. Sometimes it might be what we call below the fold, where it's like just below your home screen kind of main contents. Could be at the bottom of a website, or it could even be in the middle of a blog post. And some people actually use the age-old pop-up, which when you go to the website after a few seconds, a pop-up comes up of a form that you can actually opt in to when they're actually offering you some kind of, say, discount or ebook or whatever it might be. And as a result, in exchange, they give you your email and you actually build your email list. And make sure your opt-in form is actually quite eye-catching and prominent. So you can actually kind of test this, because a lot of times this does take optimizing, and also depends on what kind of offer you're offering them. But make sure it actually clearly states what they're actually getting in exchange for their email, and that they can actually opt out whenever they want. These are two things which you must have on your opt-in form or your email list. So now you're actually building an email list, but how do you actually cater to your audience? Now, you don't actually just want off the bat kind of start selling them straight away, or not necessarily. You want to still try and nurture that kind of relationship and that rapport with them and build that kind of community kind of feeling. So you want to kind of approach it with kind of care and actually keep offering them some kind of value over time. And as always, your emails should be in line with actually what your audience is actually interested in. So if you're in, say, jewelry, like I was saying before, make sure your posts or your emails are in line with jewelry and fashion and things like that, things which actually align with what your audience initially are kind of opted in for. If it's with making money online, maybe kind of have making money online tips, or things which align with what your audience has already opted in for. And how often should you actually be emailing your list? Well, that's entirely up to you and what your audience kind of wants, or what kind of service you're kind of providing. Some kind of email lists or some kind of businesses, such as, say, business newsletters and things, they might kind of send their audience tips every day, or have like a much longer kind of drawn out newsletter. It might be a couple of weeks, couple of months kind of thing. So it all depends on you and what your audience requires from you, and what kind of value you can actually offer them over time, and what you're trying to achieve. So this is entirely up to you. And from there as well, obviously, like I said at the start, an email list is a great way to actually utilize to actually make some more money, because you can actually offer them some kind of offer which will actually compensate you in some way. So if you have a new offer in line with your business, or you have a new offer in affiliate marketing kind of thing, or in line with what they're actually interested in, you can actually present that offer to them, and as long as they're engaged and actually quite present, you can actually make some significant money depending on how big your list actually is. So it's actually a great way to actually make money through online methods. And that's why it's very important to actually nurture and build this list over time, and not kind of bombard them over with the same offer or the same kind of information over and over again. You want to try and actually continuously provide value to them over time. So I hope that's helped you kind of get a better understanding as to why you should actually build an email list and how you can actually profit from it, because this is one of the best assets to actually have in your toolkit to actually kind of grow your wealth and make money online. As always, guys, if you found value in this, smash that like button, and I'll catch you guys again on the next video.